Now, join us live on the news for more on this is a National Deputy President, Nigerian Citizens Association in South Africa, Oscar Emetuei. It's so good to have you join us, Oscar, on the news at this time.
Thank you so much for having me, and good day to your listeners.
Thank you. Now, it's day 2 of the protest by Soweto community members. Now, what exactly is the update of today's protest so far?
Yeah, I think what is happening right now, it's like you already are aware, it's a protest demonstration for asking government to meet service delivery, like especially power disconnection that has really taken place in that community for a while. Now, we've had legitimate cause, and the people, like a country that really listens to its citizens, these are legitimate cause. But we having to see these Grunto elements who are now hijacking the protest. And now we're beginning to see things like hearing foreigners getting involved in all of this, whereas the actual cause and the reason for this protest is to ask for service delivery, holding the mayor and the leadership accountable. That's what it's all about. But we're beginning to hear from our feeders on ground that they're beginning to look at foreign nationals that are standing illegal, people operating in their local communities. All of these are beginning to come into the conversation, but the real thing is about poor service delivery. Light has been disconnected in that community for a long while. Power is out, no water, and I think these are legitimate cause for concerns.
Now, you talk about electricity, which has been on for a while. Is there any reason why the government or the mayor has not responded to these problems since it has occurred?
What happened is, a few weeks ago, there was a meeting with the same community of Soweto with the ESCOM that's actually responsible for these main issues. But apparently what we find out is they were not able to reach a compromise or an agreement. So I think this is more or less like taking it higher or one step further by taking it to the mayor and probably just see how and what the mayor can do about it. But the meeting actually did take place a few weeks ago with the power authority, that's ESCOM, and to a greater extent, we have issues around not being able to pay for electricity. And I think those are some of the reasons that led to the disconnection. And we also acknowledge that stolen transformers and all of those cables. We know all of this. But the key thing from the ESCOM perspective is the poor paying for services that is being rendered. I think these are the main issues on ground from the ESCOM side.
Okay, from also reports we're looking at, you talked about ESCOM side, talking about cable theft and of course using of illegal wires. Now there's also questions about the reconnection fee. Can you talk more about this? Because according to some reports, about 6,500 rands, which the residents are also complaining about the higher rate of the reconnection fee.
I think that's really a cause for concern, because if you actually get to know about the community, the Soweto area, this is not really like where you have the affordable. These are where you have the average and poor Black people staying there. So that amount can actually be a concern. But we also know from the ESCOM side, not because I'm holding brief for them, usually when light power get disconnected, there's always a reconnection fee that comes with that. And ESCOM itself is struggling. I'm sure you've been following all the happenings in the country where we have blackouts and load sheddings and all of this. This is running for about 4 years going. So ESCOM does have its own problem that they also need help. So I think an agreement in terms of the reconnection fee, it's something that this memorandum, they tend to hand over to the mayor. I think these are some of the issues they are asking for. If there could be a waiver, some kind of agreement, either to waive or let go, and then let power be restored. But we can see what happens as the day goes on, because as it is right now, ESCOM is not willing to just go and reconnect the lights. I think maybe government might be able to interfere here and help the community.
Now, a memorandum is supposed to be presented during the course of the protest. Now, how do you see this playing out with the situations of service delivery allegations that have been placed on the mayor and, of course, ESCOM?
Yeah, you would follow, remember, when they had the local government election sometimes last year, and service delivery was one of the promises by all of those politicians who campaigned the parties looking for votes. But unfortunately, just like in one of our interviews, we did pointed out, some of the things that these people were promising, these parties were, in my opinion, were just beyond them. Now, you cannot promise what you cannot deliver. And that is why we hear, and that is the reason for some of these problems. You hear parties promising we will restore light, we will do this, not also taking into cognizance what are the concerns from the ESCOM part of it. You don't just expect to have light consume electricity without paying. All of this we know requires money. So, but I believe with the memorandum that they intend to submit and also meeting with the mayor, I believe as a listening leader, they might on some extent find a way around this and how they can actually put an end to this protest before it escalates. Because usually when it goes beyond first, second, third day, you have disgruntled elements, you have people hijack the cause for the protest for something else that you cannot be able to control.
All right. Thank you so much, Oscar, for the update. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.